there, YouTube. I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check out Cannon Buster from Happy Bao Bob. This is for 2 to 4 players. Ages 8 plus. It'll take about 30 minutes to play. And in Cannon Buster, you're going to have a handful of cards each and every round. And you're going to pick 3 of those cards to secretly play down in front of you. You're going to reveal them. And whoever has the most of different kinds of cards are going to gain special abilities for use at the end of the round. You're going to be firing cannons, you're going to be rolling dice, you're going to be trying to gain treasure chests and gain coins and stealing things from other people. It's a light, simple family weight game, but is it good? Let's open it up and I'll tell you what I think. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Cannon Buster. So first and foremost, we have our handy dandy rule sheet. You're only going to need the English side most likely, so it's about, 4 or 5 pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples. Pretty well done, should have you up and running in no time at all. So in Cannon Busters, you are going to be playing over 6 rounds, and you are going to be acquiring cards in front of you. So you're going to start off with a hand of cards. You're going to pick the cards you want to play down, the 3 cards you want to play down, and then whoever has a majority of a specific number is going to get that special ability each and every round. What am I talking about? Let's go over the components. Let's get into the gameplay. So first, you got your board here. This is your main area. This is where you're going to keep track of all the different rounds. It'll let you know how many cards you're going to have to pick from each round, how many cards you're going to be able to have in front of you at the end of a round. Also, it's got coins and it's got treasure chests, which should be flipped like that. The treasure chests are going to come in increments of between 1 and 3, and some of them will have 0, and they'll have the skull there, which is a bummer. But just because you get one isn't a bad thing, because someone might steal it from you. Next, you're going to have these thick wooden sturdy things right here. I guess these are markers. And the 8 is only going to be used at the end of the game, and it's going to be used during the beginning of the game, in the middle of the game, to mark which round you're on. So right now, we would be on round 1, because that is right there. The rest of them, though, you will earn if you have the majority of that particular card each round, and they will allow you to do a special ability, and that'll make more sense in a minute. Next, you're going to have this D8 die, which you'll be using to shoot cannons, and there's going to be 3 different kinds of cannons you'll be able to have in the game. But let's go ahead and go to the star of the shows, which are going to be the cards right here. And the cards are pretty self-explanatory. You're going to have 8 number 8s, you're going to have 5 number 5s, you're going to have 3 different kinds of cannons. You'll have regular cannons, automatic cannons, and then antique cannons. 6 6s, 1 1, you get the idea. So if you get a 1, it's a very rare card because there's only 1 in the entire game. Now let's show you exactly how the game is played. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw the number of cards equal to the round you were on. So up top, so right now, we would each get 9 cards. Now what you're going to do is you're going to choose 3 of these cards and secretly put them down in front of you. Now, each of the cards will get you a special ability, and we'll get over the special abilities in a second, but the thing you need to know is the 8 is going to score you a lot of points at the end of the game, but it won't do anything for you during the middle of the game. Everything else can potentially get you points during the game. So, what you're trying to do is you're trying to have majority, but right now you're only going to be able to have 3 cards in front of you. So let's talk about what the different special abilities do. So first, if you have the majority of 1, aka you have the 1, you are going to get to pick at random a gold chest from the game. So you're going to get one of these, boom, you're just going to be getting money each and every round like so. If you have the majority of the 2s, you're going to be able to steal a gold chest or a gold coin from another player. So essentially, you're probably going to be stealing from this person quite consistently. You'll get to do that once per round. If you have a 3, you're going to be able to steal a cannon from someone, because as we mentioned, there are cannon cards. I don't actually have it in my hand, but there's cannon cards that you'll be able to play down, which will allow you to attack other people. If you have a 4, then you'll be able to take from the game board a number of coins equal to the number of cannon cards you have. So if you have a whole bunch of cannon cards, this is a very lucrative way for you to get coins. And that's another thing I want to mention. There is a finite amount of coins. So once the coins run out, people will be stealing coins from other people. That is something that happens pretty much every game. Number 5, that special ability is going to allow you to destroy a cannon card from another player's playing area. Most of the time you'll destroy like an automatic cannon, but it depends on what the situation is. The 6 ability will allow you to take a gold coin from the board. Pretty self-explanatory. You take a gold coin, you put it in front of you, you're making a little bit of money. Then last but not least, we have the number 7, which is going to allow you to trade one of your cannons with someone else's cannon. But the caveat is you have to have a cannon. As I mentioned, number 8 does not do anything, but it'll score you points at the end of the game. So, at the beginning of the game, you know what, I might just go hard on 6. I might just say, you know what, I am going to run the 6s this game, so I might put these 3 down. you know what? I might go 2 5s and a 6. So I might do this right here. So I'd secretly put these down in front of me, and I discard all these cards. And then everyone's going to reveal at the same time. So you stack them up like this, so you can clearly see however much you have of each number. And let's just draw 3 random ones for the other 2 people playing. Also, this is the first player token, so we'll just assume I'm the first player. So this person has a 6, a 4, and a 7, and this person has 2 8s and a 7. So they clearly weren't paying too much attention when I explained that 8s aren't worth anything right now. So now what we're going to do, starting with the number 1, is we're going to award these tokens. So no one earned the 1 because no one has the 1, no one earned the 2, no one earned the 3. This person would earn the 4, so she gets that for right now. I would get the 5 because I have the only 5. And how it works is if I had a 5 and someone else had a 5, oh, you'll actually see it in a second. I would get the number 6 because I have more 6s than anyone else. And then the number 7 does not go to anyone because there's one number 7 here and one number 7 there, and you have to have the overall majority. Now, starting with the first player, you're able to do your special abilities that you have earned. So this one is lost because no one has a 5, so I can't destroy anything. And this one, I just gain a coin. Pretty simple. Boom, I got a coin in front of me. That's good for me. This person did not win majority over anything, so they don't do anything. And this person would gain 1 coin for every cannon they have, but right now they don't have any cannons. So that's it. That's the end of the first round, except for now, everyone has to discard down to this number of cards in front of them. So these cards are going to stay in front of them. Right now, we obviously all have 3, so we move on to the next phase, where everyone's only going to get 8 cards. So let's just deal out 8 cards. We'll do one more round. 7, 8. So, boom. I got 8 cards. I'm looking at it. Ooh, I got an automatic cannon. So let's talk about the different cannons in the game. There's 3 separate kinds of cannons in the game. The first one, and the best one in my personal opinion, automatic cannon, the power cannon. How this works is you're going to roll the die, and you're going to discard 1 card of the matching number from each opponent. So if I roll the 7 on this die, boom, boom, I destroy both of these cards. It's a very, very good one. And this also stays in front of me. There's also a normal cannon, which is somewhat similar. You're going to roll the die, but then you're going to decide who you want to attack. You can only attack 1 person. And then there's the antique cannon. And the antique cannon is a high-risk, high-reward one because you roll the die, and if you have a card of that number, so let's just say I rolled an antique cannon and have a 5, then my 5 must get destroyed. But if I actually do hit somebody, I get a little bit of a gold bonus, so I can get some extra money, which is kind of nice if I'm actually able to hit anybody with the antique cannon. So let's take a look at what I got here. I could lock down the 6s, but yeah, I got to take that. That's a no-brainer. There's only 1 in the entire game. Yeah, this, do I want to lock down the 6? Somebody else has a 6 over here, so you know what? I'll keep that, and then I'll put this automatic cannon right here. So I did that. First player token pass. We'll pretend we all reveal at the same time. So 6, 1, cannon. This person, let's just grab him 3 random cards. 1, 2, 3. He got another. Wow, this guy's terrible. He got another 8. He got a 5 and a 7. And then over here, we'll give here this person a 7, a 3, and another 8. Wow, my opponents, when you do this randomly, they really suck. So right now, we'll go over the majority. So I have the 1. She has the 8, but obviously nobody gets anything for the 8. Nobody has the 5 because we have 2 5s. This person has the 3. This person has the 4. This person has the 7, and I have the 6. So now, starting with the first player, which would be this person, they do nothing because they stink. Over here, this person would earn. They can swap out a cannon, but since they don't have a cannon, actually, you know what they would probably do? They would probably steal a cannon with the 3, so they would definitely steal my cannon, and then they would utilize this one, which would earn them 1 coin for every cannon they have, and right now they have 1. And then they wouldn't swap out, so they would just not do that. For me, I would get this, which means I'd get a chest, which, woohoo, yeah, that's nice. And then I would also get a coin for that. So right now, I am clearly crushing the competition. But at this point now it gets a little bit interesting because you can only have a maximum of 4 cards, which means all of us are going to have to discard down to 4 cards. For me personally, I would probably keep these ones right here. I would keep my majority on the 6s, and I'd keep my 1, and I would discard this over here. I don't know what they would do. I certainly don't know what this person would do. They'd probably get rid of these because they're a moron. But anywho, eventually you're going to get to the final round. When you get to the final round, the game comes to the end, and you're going to tally up your final score. The points you're going to get are the points you have in coins. the points you have on your treasures, and then also the points for each one of these that you have, which, as I mentioned, this is really good at the end of the game because it's worth 8 coins, but during the beginning of the game, it's not worth anything at all. So your majorities are going to score you points, your coins, and your treasure chest will score you points. Whoever has the most points will be the winner of Cannon Buster, and that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, Cannon Buster from Happy Bao Bob. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. 2 to 4 players, restricted player count. Also, I would never play this again at 2 players. I did not like it at 2 players. Plain and simple. The biggest con that I have with this game, though, is that it's an okay game. It's not a bad game. It's not a good game. It's just okay. And when there's thousands of other games out there, okay is not going to cut it. And I have a hard time recommending this game to any particular group. So let's break it down. First, I played it with the kids in my classroom. They were bored with it. And their biggest con that they had with the game was that it was too hard to do anything they wanted to do in this game because you were really handicapped by how many cards you're allowed to keep. You're allowed to keep 3 cards each round, but at the end of the round, you have to discard down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's a perfectly legit complaint. I would partially agree with that. Also, some of the special abilities just aren't that cool, or they feel very situational. For instance, the 8. If you have the majority in the 8, you know what you get? You get nothing. You get 8 points at the end of the game. Great, but you get nothing during the first 5 rounds. The 7, you can swap out a cannon, and it's like, why? I guess it's a situational thing, but it's going to be... It just didn't feel like it was a very useful special ability. The 4 is going to give you a coin for each cannon. Now, if you can make this work, this is a fantastic strategy, especially late in the game if you're stealing coins from other people, but getting up to that point, you really have to focus on getting that strategy going, and you're sort of at the mercy of the cards that you draw. There's a good deal of luck in this game. There's just a lot of the cards that didn't feel like they were that cool, and I think that's why the kids thought that this game was pretty boring. Now, moving on to the adults, the game was just a little bit too simple for the adults I played with. And it is. You just have a handful of cards, you pick 3 of them, you get special abilities, you use the special abilities, you discard down, and then you rinse, wash, repeat 5 more times. It's a very repetitive, narrow game. There's not too many choices that you're going to be making in the game that aren't abundantly obvious to you when you make them. Any other cons that I have of the game? You know, it's a very narrow game. It's a very linear game. Each game is going to feel pretty samey. It gets repetitive pretty fast. The special abilities don't feel that cool. The dice, you know, and the luck. There's a huge luck factor. If you happen to draw good cards, then you're going to have a better chance of winning than someone else. If you roll the dice better than other people when you're firing those cannons, which is also purely luck, then you're going to have a better chance of winning the game. Now, that being said, people can still team up on you to knock you back down, but I didn't particularly like the catch-up mechanism in this game. Moving on to the pros, like I said, it's an okay game. It's perfectly serviceable. It's easy to learn. It's easy to teach. I like the artwork. I like the mechanisms that are in play. I feel like this is a skeleton of what could have been a good family game / game night game, but it just didn't work out. And wait, I'm talking about pros, aren't I? So what else do I like about the game? Yeah, easy to learn, easy to teach. I like the components. It pops, like it has these wooden pieces are nice and thick and chunky. I like some of the special abilities. I like the fact you're going to have this big handful of cards to start with and pick which ones you want. And there's like a little bit of a pressure luck aspect where it's like, yeah, I could lock down these 4s for sure, but I don't think anybody's going to play a 6 this round, so maybe I can just pop out one of these 6s and I might be able to steal it from somebody. And that was kind of interesting, but for the most part, Cannon Buster is just one that I can't recommend really to anybody. It's just okay. It's one that I'm immediately going to be getting rid of. And unfortunately, this is going to be one of those games that I have a feeling is going to be lost in time just because it doesn't do anything particularly spectacular. So that is Cannon Buster from Happy Bao Bob, one that did not live up to its potential, despite the fact that it has some really, really stinking good artwork. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. Have you ever met anyone named Bob? For me personally, Bob. I've met Roberts. I met one person named Bob. It used to be this dude that used to date this woman that I used to hang out with named Carrot Cakes, and he was a really crappy boyfriend. Like, he was the worst boyfriend ever. Like, he manipulated and used her just because she was like super obese, and yeah, he was not a nice guy. I mean, he was a cool guy. Like, I enjoyed hanging out with him, but he wasn't a nice guy. He was a bad person. I don't know what he's up to now, but yeah. That's the person named Bob that I've met. If you've ever met anybody named Bob, let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.